Growing up, I always thought everyone was taught to be open-minded. It wasn't until one day that I faced the ugliness of a closed mind. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Isn't that what we're taught? Growing up, you're going to class, you're talking to your friends, you have late night drives, it all seems fine until reality strikes. You see, we grow up in a childhood that centers around positivity. We aim for this goal of always wanting to be happy with one another and having this positive radiating energy that really allows us to get along with one another. We're open-minded, we're optimistic, we're understanding. As a little kid, you're a curious one. You're too busy getting to know everyone. It's almost as if you're a social butterfly. You're busy wanting to get to know people that you don't notice the differences, and you don't care because you're open-minded. You're not closed-minded. You're understanding that getting to know people comes with new opportunities and new goals. Although there is another side to it. When you grow up and you become an adult, you realize that your fantasy turns into a reality. Everything starts to change. There's new expectations and there's new goals for yourself. All of a sudden, your unique style is being judged. The things that you once said with confidence is being diminished. And everything that you choose to do with curiosity becomes to be pointed out as an insecurity, or it even becomes to look down upon by other people, even your peers. You start to realize that later on that narrow-mindedness is driven from dismissiveness and the ability to be ignorant. And you don't realize it because your fellow peers are unaware and they're silent. Certainty is silent. It's almost as if you're unaware of the perspectives that people have, the opinions that are changing in the world. You don't understand people's opinions, not because you're not looking for more opinions, but because you're certain of your own, and you're not willing to go about new opportunities. You're thinking about your own opinions, and you're sticking to it, but you're not wanting to grow. By listening, we're growing. But by agreeing and simply staying around the same group of people, that's not impacting you. That's not allowing you to influence or change. Because you're staying the same. You're always hearing what you want to hear and not what you need to hear. Now, I'm going to give you guys an example. So, my pink and neon t-shirts, you might think, there are a lot of kids, if you have a neon shirt, you're like, oh, why is she wearing that shirt? It's embarrassing. Or, what's the whole point? Why is she wearing that? So I'm going to show you guys an example. So, Emma, I see you're wearing a pink neon shirt.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, what does that mean to you?
It reminds me of my volleyball team.
Okay, now hold on to that thought. Addie, what about your shirt? What does it mean to you? See right there? Her volleyball team, her college. That's what that means to them. It's personal. It marked their achievements. It marked their growth. She worked for that t-shirt. Emma did countless hours in volleyball practices. She earned her spot on that team. Addie worked her academic achievements. She worked day in and day out, doing every homework assignment, every test, and look at her. She's in college. She got accepted. She's committed. And now she's going to have a bright future. She's happy. So it's not just about the appearance, but the deeper meaning and looking into how you can be more open-minded. Because if you're narrow-minded, you wouldn't get the chance to actually know what those t-shirts actually mean. When you're so stubborn to realize what other people have in terms of their influence, that's unexamined judgment. You don't go above and beyond in wanting to learn what other people have to offer. You're simply still on the fact that everyone else is opportunities, opinions, everything is the same as yours. You're not looking through the lens of others. And that's what stops you from growing and being a better person. Now, this article that I was looking into, from a closed mind to an open mind, you focus more on being understood than understanding others. And I thought about this quote, and I thought, even in my school years of being in extracurriculars and school activities, I really listened to this a lot because personally, I feel that you're always trying to please other people with the things that you do. You want to make others agree with you. But that's not what it's about. Being open-minded is the ability to understand that you could do your own thing, and their ability to go along with you, agree with you, try to understand that, it's all about their willingness to open up their mind and look through a different lens. It's not your fault. They need to be more open-minded, because a closed mind prevents you from growth. You need to learn how you can even allow yourself to look through the lens of others. Everyone has different goals and achievements, and that's what steps you up to be more open-minded. Now, this process, I know we all went through it, and it took out like the 3 first months of our senior year, which was college essays. That was all the talk. It was constantly being said, what is your topic on? Or what are you doing your college essay on? Is it done? It caused us a lot of stress. I get it. It was a lot. But this process is more than stress. It's about understanding that you're not right. In writing your college essay, there are things that we can provide feedback. You can get feedback from. I know personally that my college essay wasn't perfect. I had to go through countless hours of gaining with teachers and then my fellow peers. Like, I had to get in touch with a lot of people and their different opinions. And even if I didn't quite particularly agree with their opinion, I was still open-minded to it. And I was like, okay, like maybe I can incorporate that, or I can change that. I wasn't closed-minded to it because I know I wanted to learn how I can improve myself. And I know that being closed-minded, it's not going to do anyone any good because they want what's better for me. And I know that as an environment that you surround yourself with has a lot of an impact on who you are and how you adjust. And this can help you adjust. Now, this other article that I looked into was signs of being closed-minded and ways we could go about judging if someone does have a closed mind or open mind. See, when you're closed-minded, your perspective on things are different. You feel that this certainty is more of like a confidence for yourself. You're overconfident of your abilities. You're adhering to strictly only your self-bias, and you're understanding your own goals, but you're not willing to look through the different lenses of things, why people do certain things. You're not looking at the other side of things, of why people do certain things in terms of their information. We need to be willing to listen and listen. You need to take a step back and realize that if you just sit there in a conversation and let the person finish talking and kind of process what they say, you would have a better input in terms of what they're saying and the response that you're giving. It's not all about just cutting someone off or immediately having a response. You could take time and think about it, because that's about the process of being open-minded, being willing to hear out others and the opinions, because everyone has different opinions. Cognitive bias. You'll see this in a bunch of articles and a bunch of writings, and later on I'll be talking about the author, one of the authors that I feel like he went through a lot in terms of understanding how to be open-minded. But when you're biased, it tends to show, especially when you're writing and when you're talking. You have a strong point of view, and you won't let that point of view go, because you're so stuck on having this strong power. Having cognitive bias is almost like authority. You don't want to be wrong. When you have that authority, it's almost like admitting that you're wrong is like failure, and you're not willing to understand that if you are wrong, you can fix it and succeed. That's the common thing here. Cognitive bias automatically to certain people means I failed, or that my statement isn't good enough. But that's not true. You can succeed. You're going to grow. You're going to improve. And that's what it's all about. Dopamine is one of the key factors, I would say, in being open-minded. It's a neurotransmitter that's a chemical messenger that sends bodily functions throughout your body, allows everything to work in a proper manner. You might think, oh, how does this tie into our everyday life? When you get a simple Instagram post and you get likes, you start to feel a little bit happy. You tend to see, it fuels your energy. That is a pure example of how dopamine works. It creates a sense of happiness and joy. And that's kind of what we center towards. But we need to be more open-minded. You could post anything you want. And you don't need to worry about the likes or the comments. Be happy in yourself. Feel comfortable. Stephen King was an author, and he wrote The Shining. He had to go through countless hours of understanding how he could better his writing. He had to write pages and pages. It took him countless days and years, but he did it. And now he is a great author. And he has had many, many successful stories, and they call him the king of horror, because that's what his genre is, and he does an excellent job, but he had to be more open-minded. So what I would say is the main takeaway is, Be willing to hear out others. Be willing to listen out. And it's okay to be wrong. You can be right, but it takes growth. Sit there, take a minute, take a breath, listen to what everyone's saying, and be more open-minded. Thank you.